you are new here, my name is Sky, and my husband Chad and I own an online interior decor shop called House Holm. And on this channel, we love to share all things home, from decorating ideas to DIYs, decor hauls, and so much more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can see more weekly videos from our channel. I am really excited about today's video because I'm going to be sharing a very budget-friendly DIY. It is so easy. Anyone can do it. You only need a couple of supplies and it will truly transform a space, I promise you. So today we're going to be painting an interior door of our home. Now, this may not sound like that big of a deal, but for me it kind of is, because I do not often stray from my white and creamy tones in our home. I really like to keep the walls and the doors of our home very neutral so that it's kind of just my base, and then I can use whatever kind of decor I want and switch it out with the seasons and not feel stuck to one particular color. If I have a red dining room, I'm always going to be trying to match my decor with that red. Or if I have a green living room, I'm always going to want to make sure that my textiles and the decor in that space are coordinating with that color. So I just really prefer to keep everything neutral on the walls. That is my own personal preference. If you don't like to decorate that way, that is totally fine. There is no right or wrong. So I am actually branching out from my norm today, and I am going to use some color, which I'm so excited about. Chad and I have been on the hunt for the perfect like green gray, and we have had a really hard time finding what we're looking for until recently. So I have heard of the Fusion Mineral Paint. It's been on the internet forever, but the last year or so I've just been like really intrigued and wanting to try it out. It is kind of expensive, so I thought that I would just get a sample and see if we could make something work. So I ordered some samples. I will tell you that these samples were $5 and they are tiny. So I'm so glad that we got the samples instead of having bought the pint, because I think those are like 30, maybe 20, and still just like really expensive. So definitely do a sample if you are unsure about the color. I really knew that this was going to be a big deal, doing a painted door in our home, a color other than white. So I wanted to make sure that I felt really good about it before making a decision and buying some paint. So we chose to check out the Fusion Mineral. This is called Champlain. I think it's supposed to be Champlain. So I'm not sure if it's going to focus here for you guys or not, but we also did the putty. And looking at the putty color, this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. I thought for sure, based off of looking at the website and people that I follow on Instagram that use this color, I was like, it's going to be putty, but I'll just go ahead and get a lighter color just in case. So this is what putty looks like. It's definitely a green gray, and it's so pretty. It matches so nicely with our floors, which we were definitely trying to find something that would look well with those. But I'm gonna tell you guys what I recommend to anyone getting ready to paint in their home is to paint a large section of whatever you're painting, the walls, the doors, and sit with it for like a day or two, maybe even longer if you're pretty indecisive, which I can tend to be. So what we did was we painted a big section of our front door because, shocker, we're doing this in two spaces. So we're doing our pantry door, which I'm going to share with you today. And we're also doing our front door because we're in the middle of a huge entryway transformation, which is a video coming up very soon, probably either late this week or early next week. You'll get to see that. So we're painting the door the same color. So in the entryway, we did a big section of putty and a big section of Champlain. And we just kind of sat on it. We let it dry. Make sure you let it dry before making a decision. So they were not right. I was shocked. And the other thing I'll say is that paint may look one way in my house and it may look a totally different way in your house. Even if you use the same amount of coats, the same finish, it all depends on the lighting that that particular room gets. So we have White Duck by Sherwin-Williams in our living room, and then we also have it in our dining room. In our living room, it looks like a very light beige off-white. In our dining room, it has pink undertones, and we use the exact same color, the exact same finish, and the exact amount of coats. Exact same amount of coats. So it really just depends on the lighting. I encourage you, if you're planning on painting in just one single color in an entire floor or in multiple rooms of your home, to test them in each room. And I'm talking like maybe a third of a wall, a big section, so that you can really tell if you love it. So this is what we decided. Back to this. Sorry, got on a little tangent there, but we have done a lot of painting in the last couple of years and have learned a lot along the way, so I thought I would share that with you guys. So this Champlain color in our entryway ended up looking pretty yellow. It does not look yellow when you look at it here, and even I actually painted a sample on a piece of wood just to kind of test it out, and it did not look yellow at all. It looked beige. So, you know, it just depends on how the light is picking it up. But yeah, so anyway, this one was way too dark for our liking. So it looks perfect right here in the can. And then when we put it on the door, it was so dark and just felt like too much of a statement. So what I did was I mixed these. I knew that we liked this shade and we liked the overall color, but it was just too dark. So I did 50-50 of each. I mixed them in a container. I painted a little white piece of scrap wood. I did 2 coats because I knew that the door was going to take at least 2, if not 3 coats. So I wanted to get the true color. And then we took it to Sherwin-Williams and they color matched it for us. It is amazing what they can do. I'm still just like blown away at how well they are able to color match. We had them do this with some furniture in our dining room. We had some white IKEA chairs, but they're not really white. They're more of an ivory color. We bought a table that was used on Facebook Marketplace, and we really just wanted to match those chairs. So Chad took a chair, an entire chair, into Sherwin-Williams. They scanned it, they color matched it. It is identical. It looks amazing. And I was, again, just so impressed. An identical match with our mixture. They did a great job. So we painted it on the front door. I love it so much. I'm waiting to share it with you because we still have some things we have to finish up in that space. We were not just painting a door, we were doing a lot of work over there. So we're gonna do this color on our pantry door, which is a smaller door, so it shouldn't take very much paint, but we got an entire gallon of Sherwin-Williams super paint, and I'm gonna share the mixture with you guys here so that you can see if you want to try to duplicate this in your home. I'll just share so you guys can see kind of what the recipe was, if you will. I don't know the paint lingo. But yeah, so I am going to sand down my door and then I'm going to paint it. It took 2 coats on our front door, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a clear poly finish on it just for added protection so that it doesn't get scuffed up as easily. So I'm gonna share that process with you guys, and I think you'll be surprised by how much this space can be transformed on such a small budget. So to start this project, you're going to need to sand your door a little bit just to roughen it up, and that way your paint is going to adhere a lot more nicely. Usually there is a coat of poly or a pretty thick satin finish on doors, so it may be hard for your paint to adhere if you skip this step. I recommend using a sanding block if you have one. I just didn't have mine handy, so I just used some sandpaper, which works fine too. And then you'll come through with a towel and just kind of wipe all of that dust away. And and then you'll start painting. So I was able to roll the majority of this door, and I just went through with a paintbrush to do the edges and the little corners in between to make sure that we didn't have any dripping. I did end up doing 2 coats on this door, so when you see the finished product, you're going to see it with that second coat. And then we are going to come through with a layer of poly, as I mentioned before, just to give it some added protection. We've got lots of people in our home constantly making their way towards this pantry door, and so I know that this is an area of our home that sees a lot of traffic, so that poly coat is definitely going to be helpful for us. So once I'm finished rolling here, I'm going to come in with my paintbrush, and here I'm actually showing you that I took some baby wipes. There were a few spots where I had gotten some paint on the trim and the hinges. If you happen to have baby wipes handy, they work wonders. So I decided not to tape this door. It would have been silly to put in that much work for this little project. Baby wipes or even a wet paper towel will actually just clean it off perfectly for you with no issues, and even if it dries, it scrapes off really nicely. So don't be afraid to get paint on your hardware or anything like that. So here I am just finishing up the first coat with my paintbrush, and you guys are going to see here pretty soon that I got a little adventurous. I think I got bit by the paint bug this day and pretty much was touching up all the different areas in our home, including the walls that you're seeing here on either side of this pantry door. So I decided that I wanted those walls to match up with the other side of our kitchen, and so I went in with our Pure White by Sherwin-Williams and decided to go ahead and just paint these walls as well, and I'm so glad I did. I think that it gives a better contrast with our pantry door color, and it also just creates more of a cohesive flow between the kitchen and the pantry. Okay friends, that is a wrap for today's video. I hope that you guys love this as much as I do. I think it just flows so beautifully now with our white painted walls from the kitchen all the way over here to our pantry door, and then it just blends in so beautifully with the colors that we have going in our farmhouse cottage style living room. As always, make sure that you guys are subscribed to our channel so that you can see more weekly videos. We have an exciting anniversary sale coming up this weekend through House Holm. We are getting ready to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, which feels like such an amazing milestone. So I'm going to be sharing some new arrivals later this week, and we're also going to be sharing the exciting news of the sale that will be running. So make sure you stay tuned for that one, and I just look forward to seeing you guys then. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.